Before we start this show, just a word from our sponsor, 20 by 20 Apparel. Founded in 2015, 20 by 20 Apparel brings original tributes to pro wrestling's classic arenas, moments, and events. They look to spotlight the bloopers, bleeps, and body slams along with the biggest, smallest, strangest, and strongest that pro wrestling has had to offer. Along with their awesome line of pro wrestling apparel, they do offer many services. In the world of wrestling, there are hundreds of shirts, promotions, flyers, social media accounts, and ads. Don't get lost in the sea of parody shirts and display fonts. They can provide professional graphic design services at a reasonable price. 20 by 20 also hand screen prints all the tees in-house. If you would like to discuss possible run of tees, posters, koozies, foam fingers, or whatever, drop them a line. Go to 20 by 20 Apparel. That's the number 20x, the number 20 apparel.com. Now, let's get to the show.
Fresh is the word.
I'm Jim Duggan, got long wood for plenty hoes. I keep it fresher than fresh, but you already know. You suckers bummy, I'm money, I got a ton of flows. My weed loud like a motherfucking thunder roll. Your shit quiet like you ballin' on a budget though. We see your kicks and we laugh and yellin' what are those. You see me shining like a suit on puffy. You know my grindin' shit is too strong, buddy. That's why the dude call money. I be stuntin' like it's nothing at all. Cause it's nothing to me, it's probably something to y'all. Trying to smoke like me, then come and fuck with your dog. Got a closet full of kicks, you can't cop it tomorrow. And I'm fresher than the freshest, you can tell it's in my essence. Bitch, you see the way I'm rapping, yes I do this shit to death. Until I'm running out of breath, or tell somebody cut a check. But either way you know it's fresh, and either way you know it's fresh. Fresh, we fresh. Fresh, fresh, goddammit, we fresh.
To the Fresh is the Word podcast. I'm your host, Kelly K. Fresh Frazier. And on Fresh is the Word, we like to deliver wisdom through great stories from the minds of bright creatives of pop culture. Through those stories, we like to dissect the journey of our guests and present actionable lessons and advice for our listeners, no matter what career or avenue of artistry they pursue. And this is episode 127, and this episode is the Haunted High-Ons special, with interviews from everyone a part of the creative team of the comic book Haunted High-Ons, starring the dastardly duo of Jamie Madrox and Monoxide of the rap group Twiztid. We have 3 interviews this episode, all recorded at this year's Astronomicon pop culture convention in Sterling Heights, Michigan, a couple weeks ago, with writer Dirk Manning, with artists Marianna Pescosta and Alessandro de Fornasari, and of course, Twiztid. We go through the origins of Haunted High-Ons, the inspiration behind the story and the artwork, the release of the new series, The Darkness Rises, and the special announcement for the C2E2 convention. Before we get into these interviews, I definitely want to give a shout out to Knox Money, Bang Belushi, and Foulmouth for the theme music for Fresh is the Word. And I also want to remind you how you can support the podcast. You can always go to freshasthepodcast.com and share any links of any of the episodes on any of your social media platforms. And you can also subscribe to Fresh is the Word pretty much everywhere that podcasts are streamed. And that includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, wherever, Stitcher Radio. Just type in Fresh is the Word and it'll come up. Give it a rate and a review. That would be awesome, especially on Apple Podcasts. It will definitely help out the show. If you want to send me anything, you can always email me at djkfresh@gmail.com. Send me anything, any questions, concerns, whatever. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at kfreshtheword, and at Facebook at facebook.com/kfresh. And also you can follow Fresh is the Word on Twitter at Fresh is the Word, and that's is with IZ. Instagram at Fresh is the Word Podcast, and at Facebook at facebook.com/Fresh is the Podcast. All right, let's start off these interviews with everybody from the Haunted High-Ons team. And first off is the writer, Dirk Manning. We're at Astronomicon here with Dirk Manning, the writer of the Twiztid Haunted High-Ons comic book. So this episode's going to be just about Haunted High-Ons. I'm going to get Dirk Manning on the podcast again, and we're going to get through all of his shit.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm overdue. I appreciate your patience.
I've been trying to get him on the podcast for a year now. So
I'm always like, I got this other thing we can talk about next. I got this other thing. I'm like, well, no, this is me on the record. We're going to jump on here soon and chat.
But that's fine. That's fine because you got some cool shit coming up. So I never get mad because I know, like, when the right time happens, it's the right time.
That's right.
So we're going to talk about Haunted High-Ons.
Talk about Haunted High-Ons for a minute.
So what was the original idea? How did you get linked up with Jamie and Paul of Twiztid to do Haunted High-Ons?
Gary Reed, who Caliber of our publisher of. Sorry, it's Sunday, so my words may not come out the right order.
That's fine.
You might have to re-edit this so it makes sense.
No, it'll just be a part of it all.
Right.
It's the charm of it all.
There you go. It's Sunday. Sunday karaoke. That's what happens.
Yeah. Karaoke hangover.
Well, yeah. It's not even drink. It's the hangover is literally just from karaokeing. Gary Reed of Caliber Comics got a hold of me. I was friends with Gary. I published my book Right or Wrong through Gary, and he said, "Hey, I got this project. I think you wanted to kind of bounce off you to see if you'd be interested." He goes, "Are you familiar with this band Twiztid?" I started laughing. I'm like, yeah, just a little bit. I did music journalism for about 10 years. And part of that was working with bands like ICP and stuff like that when they were coming up through Tunnel of Love, Riddlebox, all the way up into Malenko. So I saw Twiztid even as House of Crazies back in the day.
Right, yeah.
So Gary knew I knew music and stuff like that. He didn't know the connection was that deep. Although Twiztid didn't know me, I knew who they were. So we ended up doing a one-shot together. Twiztid sent me the idea they had for a story. I kind of took it, we pulled it apart, put it back together a little bit different, played with it a little bit, things like that. Turned into a one-shot script. They liked it, and now we are moving ahead with a full 5-issue miniseries, also from Source Point Press. Gary, unfortunately, passed away during this. So one of his lasting legacies was hooking me up with Twiztid,
Awesome. What was the reception of the one-shot that you guys did?
Very, very well. I think people really have been into it and stuff like that. Well, I know people have been really into it. We've been doing very well with it. One of the things we wanted to do, I think I specifically wanted to do as well as Twiztid, was let people know that this was going to be its own kind of freestanding, very accessible comic. This is something anybody can pick up and read. And part of that was really, I think, leaning into the humor a little bit. A lot of times people remember, again, some of the older Juggalo comics out there that have been, or comics, that culture, this culture, that have been more violent, hack, / kill.
Yeah.
And, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a horror guy. But Twiztid's funny. They're really funny. And we wanted to do something that was fun and funny and accessible. And people have been really taken aback by that. A lot of my readers who maybe normally wouldn't pick up a Twiztid book per se, picked it up because I wrote it, and then they're saying like, "Oh my gosh, I really feel like I know these guys. This is really pretty funny." Someone describes it like adult Scooby-Doo, because Haunted High-Ons Twiztid is they're fake ghost hunters who get called to a real haunted house. Hilarity and hijinks and horror ensue. Well, now with the new miniseries, we're still staying very funny, but we're starting to lean deeper into the horror as well. So it's fun. I'm really excited about where this new 5-issue miniseries from Source Point Press is going.
What is it about the characters of, in real life or in Twiztid life, of Monoxide and Madrox that lends itself to a comic book universe?
There's such an interesting dichotomy with what they do. Jamie is very extroverted. Paul's very introverted. But yet the Venn diagram, the crossover is large. They have a lot of the same interests and things like that, but then obviously there's things they like individually, which we all do.
Right.
But they're brothers. But, you got the outgoing one and you got the quieter one, and stuff like that. And it works. You got the one that's more jovial. You got one that's more intense. And those are the aspects that I play up a little bit for the comic, and especially now that we're doing a 5-issue miniseries, to explore that character dichotomy and what it's like. And then brothers fight. Brothers disagree sometimes. Then you mix a ghost into it that's hanging out with them all the time. So then you got the the automatic tiebreaker. That means someone's always going to lose. And it just leads to some really cool character work.
Going into the new series, what was your sort of what was some of the thoughts that was going through your head about what you wanted to bring to the table with it?
With the one shot, they had a very specific idea of what kind of story they wanted to tell. The miniseries, The Darkness Rises, which is the name of their miniseries, in stores in April, available now in previews through your local comic shop. I really based it a lot. I really wanted to open up the world more. It's inspired a lot by their album, The Darkness.
Okay, all right.
But I also wanted to start to show, okay, this can be fun and this can be funny, but also what is this really like? You know, now that we know that they can really see ghosts, the question becomes, the darkness. The question's going to become, can the darkness see them too? And what does that mean?
Oh.
So it's still fun and funny, but it's definitely a lot heavier. We're going to get a lot darker, I think, than people maybe anticipate in this volume.
In a lot of comics, there's always that question about, do I take on this responsibility? Is that involved in this comic book?
Very much so. But I think in a little bit of a different way. The question is going to become for them, they know what they can do, but how much they're going to take it on and how they're going to take it on. It is what it is now. I mean, they're in the soup. So now it's a matter of just how they're going to deal with it.
With even with the one shot and with the new comic book, you got a lot of variant covers with it.
Right.
What's the importance of having all these different variants? Just even being as fans of comic books.
So yeah, the variant covers. One of the things we're doing there is we have about 5 or 6 variant covers on the first issue of the miniseries, and it's twofold. One, obviously there are people that like to collect all the variants, but we're really big on not wanting to double, triple, quadruple, quintuple, sextuple dip, but rather make variants available for everyone that might want one. Maybe you can get the Kevin Eastman variant, which is a 1-to-5 ratio, through comic shops. Cool. That doesn't work. You can get one through Twiztid shop. You can get one through the Source Point Press shop. You can get one as a VIP for Astronomicon. But everyone will get a chance to get at least one variant if they want one. You can get a blank sketch cover from Marianna, which is an incredible opportunity.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
It's a good choice. Mary doesn't charge enough for the work she does, but that's for her covers.
Wait, what should I get on my blank cover?
You want my opinion?
Yeah, I want to be involved I want to be on the cover.
I would get one of you and Felicia.
I was thinking that too.
Brilliant minds like I love how she draws Felicia.
Oh,
a 2-character cover. She does some real cool blue line art on there. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, we have the idea of what we're gonna do after we get done.
Yeah, Mary's at the table next to us, so I can look at her as I say this stuff.
Also, at the Haunted High-Ons panel, you guys made a big announcement about C2E2. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. C2E2 in March. I will be there, table H8 in Artist Alley. Marianna and Alessandro will be there at H7. Twiztid is showing up at the Source Point Press booth for a signing Saturday at 4. And we are releasing a limited to 100 copies, C2E2 exclusive black and white line art edition of issue 2 of Haunted High-Ons, which is only going to be available at the show. 100 copies, guaranteed to sell out. Guaranteed to sell out. And we'll be doing signings there all weekend, but Twiztid will be there then, I think, from noon to 4.
All right, great. You kind of touched on this before, but how does the Haunted High-Ons comic book sort of compare to like just your regular comic book in the comic book world when you have this music group that comes from a certain fan base? Does it parallel? Is there anything different? What's your thoughts about that?
Jamie and Paul are comic fans, and that I think it's very evident. And I mean, they're putting on their own comic show. I'm looking at a wall of comics right now with one of my buddies that's selling comics and stuff like that. They're fans. They like it. They get it. They appreciate it. And I think it's very organic in everything they do. You can see that.
When you're, like, we're at Astronomicon right now, and it's something that they put on, but you're also a part of the team for Haunted High-Ons. You know, what does an event like this sort of do to, like, the Twiztid brand, and, you know, and what's sort of, like, just the idea of, like, the community here?
You know, the community with this fandom. Sorry, karaoke's catching up with me again. This is gonna be my last question for now. The fandom, you know, is famous and sometimes infamous. You know, the Juggalo stuff and all that. You know, the Juggalo culture. And it's funny. A lot of people are like, "Oh my God, I don't want to go to Astronomicon in Detroit. The Juggalo, it's a Juggalo show. Blah blah blah." And I tell people all the time, I'm like, "Look, if you're the person that's making fun of Juggalos now, a generation ago, you would have been the person making fun of the punk rock kids."
Right.
You know, I mean, it's the horror shows and Astronomicon, which Astronomicon's a comic show, but I'd also almost consider it a horror con. The nicest people.
Right.
It's phenomenal. I mean, everyone, you know, gets this there's this bad rap because 15 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever the hell it was, at one concert, some fans were assholes. Everyone here is awesome. There's kids, there's parents, it's a cool show, man. Everything's nice. It's just the community's so welcoming. They like to check out the new work. Everything's good. And it's just awesome. You know, everyone's really cool. It's great. I would encourage anybody in the area to come check out Astronomicon, you know. You want to see some great horror guests, see some cool wrestlers, see some cool comic creators. That's the way to go, man. I mean, this is a great show.
All right, cool. If anybody wants to find out more information about you or Haunted High-Ons, where can they go online?
I would just go to www.dirkmanning.com, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Dirk Manning. Look me up. I'm there. Look for the picture of the top hat and the scarf, and there you have it.
All right, it's good talking with you, man. We'll catch up again soon.
Yeah, I look forward to talking when I have more of a voice, and I won't be as creaky and crackling in my voice here. I appreciate it. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you, man.
No doubt.
Thanks.
Now, that was my interview with Dirk Manning about Haunted High-Ons. We're definitely going to have it. We definitely have it in the works, and it's been over a year now that I've been bugging him to get him on the podcast solo, just to talk about everything in the world of Dirk Manning, because we have a lot of common interests. So I can't wait to just get him on the horn by himself, you know. So let's get on to the interview with Marianna and Alessandro, the artist of Haunted High-Ons.
Well, I'm Marianna, and I'm the artist of Haunted High-Ons.
Okay, I'm Alessandro. I'm the colorist for Haunted High-Ons. I also make beats and shoot videos, but that's not even. Sorry.
It's all good.
Screwed up.
All right, how did you link up with Dirk Manning to do the Haunted High-Ons comic book?
Well, I was working with Dirk like from 2012, and so we did many things together with Tales of Mystery and Nightmare World.
I want to hear this part too. I don't remember.
Oh yeah.
You don't know your story?
I want to see what she's saying is true.
Right.
And then he texted me and said, "Okay, we got a big deal. There's something you need to do test pages for, and it's huge." And I was like, "Okay, let's do it." And he sent me everything about Twiztid. So in 3 hours, I was doing a sketch and sending to them.
Yeah.
They loved it, and that's it. It began.
What was it about, like, the Twiztid characters that, what was your motivation to do what you wanted to do with it?
Well, I wanted to rock them out. I mean, they're Twiztid, they're huge, they're amazing, and I wanted to make them recognizable.
Yeah.
But mine in some way. Mine with the style, so I hope I did it.
Yeah, there's like a big component of humor in this comic book.
Oh yeah.
So what did you what was your mind state about making sure that like the humor came out also in your artwork?
Well, my main focus was on expressions and gestures and everything that can make them move naturally inside the comic books pages. And I guess it's the best to make them act. And I hope they can be dynamic in their pages.
Right. What was it about the like sort of like these twisted characters that it feel like were perfect for a comic book?
What do you mean?
What was it about sort of like their personas, like their that
Oh
you feel,
well,
do you
they're
feel
like
yeah.
they're characters. So Jamie is more like a funny one. Paul is the serious one, but sometimes he screws up. And Jamie is incredibly smart, even if he seems like a bit dumb sometimes. And that's Dirk's work, because he writes down what I need to draw, and I get the feeling from the script, so that then it's all natural.
Right.
It's all natural work.
All right, Nico, your work on Haunted High-Ons, you did the coloring, right?
Right.
What was your idea in regards to what you wanted to do to sort of bring out the story that was being told?
Okay, so I wanted it to be deep. I wanted to create like an emotional bond with the reader. I wanted the reader to really get into the scenes and the environments. We are going through some harsh environments in this first issue, such as abandoned houses and stuff, haunted houses.
Yeah.
So my main inspiration was cinema, of course, because working with video, doing color grading and correcting frames and stuff gave me gave me a head start on what an emotional way to give color could be.
Right. What was your favorite part about doing this comic book?
Well, all of it. I mean, I enjoyed it all. It's always fun, and coloring Marianna's inks is always amazing because she's so precise, and she just goes straight to the point. There's almost no mistakes at all. It's always first one is good.
Right. Speaking about working with her, what is what is it about her work that makes your job a little bit more easier, or you get motivated?
Oh well, the fact that we are a couple and we live together, so we actually can we can confront each other.
Bounce ideas off each other all the time.
Real time, in real time.
I can be a real pain in the beep.
You can swear.
Yeah, I'm a pain in the ass sometimes with him, because I'm like, no, this is no good, and he's like, okay, but I just started.
Yeah, sometimes she will get mad at me for doing things she hadn't in mind, but sometimes I just got started. I just laid out some flat colors, and she's like, no, that is wrong. That is gonna be wrong. And wait, stop. Wait, stop for a minute. I still have like 4 hours to go on this page. You don't know what's coming up.
Right.
But aside from that, we really like to behave like we are a team, like we were a team.
Right. Same question for you. But what is it about his work that kind of motivates you, gives you inspiration?
Actually, I'm always sure about his colors because he has taste quite identical to mine.
Right.
And for example, for saturated colors. We both hate them, and so I know he can find a way to bring my inks to another level, a better level, because my inks aren't complete without his colors. So I trust him a lot, even if
You're a
I'm
pain in the ass sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, above all, there's a lot of trust involved in the whole process. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Because I'm a bit jealous about my drawings. I would never have another colorist except him,
Yeah.
because I would be double a pain in the ass for any other colorist. I mean,
He
that's
knows how to
because
deal with you, yeah.
It's him, and
What was your favorite part about doing Haunted High-Ons?
favorite part on the making or
Yeah, of making
the
it, or-
story?
Of making it or just being a part of the experience?
Well, for the making, I think the best is to ink everything, because you're seeing the page coming alive, and it's amazing. But I think the most beautiful part is to put it down from idea to the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can play with figures, I can play with perspectives, and that's a creative part of it. So it's funny.
Cool. All right, it's been great talking with you two. Where can people go online to get more information about what you're doing?
Well, we have both our Instagram profiles and Facebook, of course. And that's it, because we're not so social media peoples.
All right. All right, it's been great talking with you. Thank you, and good
Thank
luck
you
with
so
everything.
much.
Yes. So that was my interview with Marianna and Alessandro, the artists for Haunted High-Ons. They came to the Astronomicon Pop Culture Convention all the way from Italy, and it was great speaking with them. If you did, here in the Dirk Manning interview, I did get a sketch cover commission made by Marianna with me and the Haunted High-Ons character Felicia on the front cover, and it's awesome. It was the first time I ever did a commission from somebody, so Marianna killed it, and it was awesome. So without further ado, let's get into the final interview of this episode, and it's with Jamie Madrox and Monoxide of Twiztid as we talk about Haunted High-Ons. What's your thoughts about Dirk Manning as a writer?
He's good. He knows what he knows is he knows how to structurally put together a story and at the same time make it simplistic enough for someone like me to be able to who's not like one of a reader, you know what I mean? Follow along, but at the same time to compel someone who is a good reader, who enjoys like one of those, thick Bible like books and can still captivate them as well.
Right, there's no fluff with Dirk.
For sure. He's
It's
like
the
right
meat
there.
and the potatoes.
That's right.
What is it about the Jamie Madrox and the Monoxide character that really kind of is transferable to the comic book medium?
Because we're fucking awesome.
I think I'm with that answer as well. But I think what it is I think it's more of like what Dirk said to Mary and Alessandro was the essence of Twiztid. So like the demeanor, the mannerisms, the comedic timing, the how we are in real life, so all of those little attributes are put into the characters. And what I think is cool about it is those characters never get old. They never die. They will always be there, like Scooby and Shaggy and the rest of the, in the Mystery Machine, revving it up. And I think that's cool. It's like you're immortalized we've already been immortalized in a toy, and now we're immortalized in a comic book series. And as with the pickup that it's been getting and the acceptance, I'm hoping it goes from the one shot to the mini series of 4 to an actually monthly series.
Right.
I really mean
To
that.
an
I can't.
animated or movie.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
We cannot stress that enough. I mean, so
there,
other
it's
people,
right
because
there.
I know people listen to your podcast as well as any and everybody we do
Quit
interviews with.
remaking people's movies and take
Right.
a shot on something new.
Something fresh, something.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Good call. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. The sort of comedic aspects of Twiztid, how do you feel like both the artist and the writer of this comic book were able to convey that onto the page?
I think more times than not, how we work is it's like Dirk will make, I call it a skeletal frame of the work, and he'll put in like, I want you guys to have banter here. I think it should be this. Change it to how you would say it. So we'll go back and forth, and me and Paul will be like,
so much
they do
video,
though, and more
interviews.
times than not, he's really spot on.
Just to
Literally,
get it
how many alterations have you really made seriously in all the books
After
we've
the
gone
first
through?
book, very few.
We changed one thing. We changed it. Well, what was it? We changed
A
something,
line.
or something. It was a line or as a word phrasing or something that I didn't. It was like dick cheese or something. I was like,
Right.
I don't think we'd
Yeah.
say that. It was something like that,
Yeah.
or something like that. But it's also we're walking that fine line where we want it to be just like Astronomicon, a family book, but at the same time something that can bridge the gap between mom and dad and the kids. So if you are a comic collector who has a son or daughter and you want to get them into the series. Sometimes in the first issue it was a little more risque when I was mopping up the cum splatter out of the back. But nevertheless, I think
And
that
it's about High-Ons.
and it's about High-Ons, but at the
Maybe
same
not
time,
for the kids, but
maybe not for the kids, but at the same time, I think that it's at the same time it is because with all the medical marijuana and everything going on, hopefully we'll find that as an open into it, and the fact that they're conscious even with the source point about not cussing, because the first time we went all out and we were like fuck this, fuck that, and they were just like wait a minute. You don't have to play blue.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. We're like, seriously. So like, and it was just kind of like, trust us. Let us show you how we think it should be shown. And it was right on the money. And since then, it's like, it's falling into its own thing, just like Stankin' Poot or a Lotus or what have you. You know, like those things all have their mannerisms, and that's what comes to the forefront when we do them.
Okay, you guys are going to a series now. Talk more about that and how the series is different from the one shot.
well, obviously the one shot is origin based, so you don't get a lot of story as far as exactly what we do as the Haunted High-Ons. With a series, you get to elaborate a little more. You get to delve into the characters a little more and exactly what we're about.
What's also cool is it's in the mini series. He now that we have established who Jamie, Paul, and Felicia are. It's like now we're trying to, and I know Dirk gets all upset when I say this, but with even with Travis selling the comic early, you know what I mean? It's like I'm not going to give you too much of the storyline, but the same thing I said in there, the availability to bring people from the M&E universe into our title. I'm not saying who, I'm not saying what, and I'm not saying most certainly not why, but these people, the fact that we have the availability to do that, and we've discussed some really cool things that we didn't do in the first book of how we can try to integrate different artists to get more people to be a part of the project, which is really cool. Like the shit that we're talking about, like I've only seen it done in like maybe 2 to 3 books in my entire since we've been kids. Like the type of thing that we're talking about doing, which I think is fresh and I think is cool. I mean, obviously it's been done, but at the same time, it's not been done so much that you're like, oh Jesus Christ,
Right.
this again.
Everything's been done.
For sure, right?
Right.
There's nothing you're gonna do that hasn't been obviously a comic book. You know what I mean?
Form or variation.
For
It's
sure.
kind of like.
For sure.
If
But
you worry about stuff like that, you'll never get anything done.
Absolutely. But it was just, I think that is cool. Like there's so much of an integrity value to how they're like, let's try this and let's try that. And you could see, it's like, it gets us hyped because we get excited over things. And when you see people excited about it as well, you're like, this is fucking great.
Yeah.
This is going to really work. You know what I mean? So we have that like, like excited like children kind of vibe because it's like, holy shit, it went from a one shot to a mini series, and if we keep pushing,
it's gonna
man.
Be on the big screen.
I hope
Big
so.
screen.
I really do. I'm saying shit. I'm like, give me a Netflix, give me a fucking Adult Swim show. I promise you, it's there. It's there. Any and all of it. I've seen. I mean, I've watched Tim and Eric make seasons and hours of literally nothing.
Right.
Nothingness. And I'm not knocking the hustle, because believe me, we did Purple Show. Trust me, I know about nothingness. But what I'm saying is it's like at the same time, it's like this shit is still going on, and these people are clocking big checks.
Right.
And all this shit. So we're like, let us get in. Ours will be fun, entertaining, really cool looking, well written, well acted, well sounded, and if you get us to be able to voice the characters, I think that's gonna take it and really push it over the top.
Hell yeah. How does the Magic Ninja universe parallel to the comic book universe?
I want to say, in my own opinion, I want to say that it is alive and functioning, and somewhere like Marvel has multiverses and so on and so forth. In my mind, I think that Jamie Madrox and Monoxide are alive in the Haunted High-Ons universe, but at the same time, outside of that world, all the other MNE people, artists, and characters are out there doing whether it be grave digging with Blaze in some outskirts of the town cemetery, and we just haven't met him yet.
Right.
That's how, in my mind, I believe that all the characters do exist. It's just that they haven't come and crossed paths with Jamie and Paul or Felicia or any of the characters at this point in time.
Cool. Is there any last words you want to say about Haunted High-Ons?
Make sure you go to your comic book stores and order it.
Yeah,
and
previews.
Request it, because that's word of mouth, man.
We've got a lot of cool shit. Buyer incentives. You order 5 copies and you get the Kevin Eastman cover, which was a super duper big thing for us.
Yeah.
To actually obtain that, and Source Point as well. And it's just cool, man. It's like, go to previews, order it, go to your local comic book shop, request it, because the more people that ask about it, even if you don't place the order, they're like, I've had like 8 people come in today alone. Let's order 5. Let's 5 and get the Eastman cover. All you're gonna do is put it in a bag and backboard and charge someone $50 for it. I know how you motherfuckers do it, but I know you gotta eat. But that's the name of the game, and we are trying to play that game now. So to understand it a little bit better helps us to play it better. Yeah. So, but it's cool, man. We have all the shit that the real people do. Rob Liefeld, we're coming for you, motherfucker. We want Deadpool. No, you know what I'm saying? But no, it's like we have all the shit that the real people have, and I'm proud to say that. Like, we are literally throwing our hat in that game, and it's not a weak hat without a brim and a hole in it. God damn it, it's a very nice fedora with a feather.
Long time to make a launch like this.
Absolutely.
So we knew that it was perfect.
Absolutely.
All right, man. It's been great talking with you, man. Good luck.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah. And good on the script read, too, by the way.
So that was my interview with Jamie Madrox and Monoxide of the rap group Twiztid as we talk about the Haunted High-Ons comic book. As always, it was great to talk to the two. They're always one of my favorite interviews to do, and I've interviewed them many times. They have a new album coming out on Magic Ninja Entertainment later on this year on April 26th, and it's called Generation Nightmare. You can go to mnestore.com for all the pre-order bundles for this album. They have a bunch of cool flavor to go along with the release of that album. And like always, links to where you can get more information about the Haunted High-Ons comic books will be in the show notes at freshasthepodcast.com for this episode, along with links to where you can follow all the members of the creative team, Dirk, Marianna, Alessandro, and Twiztid. Where you can follow them online will also be in the show notes. So that's another episode in the books. It was awesome to go to Astronomicon this year. Can't wait to Astronomicon 3, which they've already announced. It will go down next year. Same time, same bat channel. All right. Thanks for listening. Goodbye and good night.
Fresh is the word.